Casten Almqvist, please welcome up on stage the CEO of TV4. Welcome up.
Thank you. Thank you.
TV, why is it working so well for you guys?
Well, it's first of all, you need to be humble. But I think in times like this, when if you're a small town retailer or a car company, you really need to know that it works and TV works. When you need to ship cars or sell clothes, it really works. And then a bit more sadly, I think, connecting to Raoul, I think for the moment, again, we need to be a little bit humble, is the fact that the reach that used to be created by the print companies is not created anymore. So we see now since 2 years back that very big chunks of money are being moved from the old print media companies to television, national and locally. I think those are the two major reasons for us standing so strong in times like this, because it's a bit of a paradox, I must say.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of things happening in television. I remember I've been doing this for 15 years, and up until 3 years ago, nobody from television was interested in talking to me, and I wasn't particularly interested in talking to the guys from TV either. Now it's like Kristallen is all over. It's a lot digital. If you go to any conferences anywhere, it's digital. All the startups are in TV. So there's a lot of things happening. And how do you look upon that? Sort of there's the Hulus and the Netflix, and you in Bonnier, you're doing FilmNet, and we saw Imagine here yesterday. Could you elaborate a little bit on sort of your thoughts on these new entrants?
Well, first of all, I must connect to your description, because I've been in this industry for about 25 years. I was around at the late 80s when we started out commercial TV and we started production companies. That was really fun. But I must say this is even more mind-boggling, even more exciting, even more challenging. We've been talking futuristically for about 5 years about all the things that's going to happen, the TV everywhere, anywhere kind of stuff. We've been talking and talking and talking, maybe not with a lot of trustworthiness. And then all of a sudden, we're right in the middle of it. It's happening right now, and it's so exciting. I think that's one of the reasons why you see this right now. And why is that? It's technology. It's technology, technology, technology. So why and how then to adapt? We need to embrace technology. Our industry used to be very much that the cameras and the cables and all that kind of stuff was all about distributing our content to the viewers. It's not that simple anymore. It's now a part of the whole experience. It's not just distribution. So it's a mindset issue for our industry. So technology becomes an integrated part of our business model, which is new to us. But it all boils down to one simple thing. So we need to keep our eye on one ball, and that is great programming. Programming, programming, programming.
So that's the holy grail. So the programming, if that is there, you feel safe.
Yeah, I never feel safe, and that's the rule number one at TV4. Never be sure about what's going to happen around the corner. So we need to be very open to change. But I would say that a shitty show doesn't get better just because you show it on a 7-inch screen.
No.
So good shows, I mean, that's what we live from. So that's key, that's core.
But if you look at Schibsted's strategy, they're building ventures, they're going into other countries, other continents. Your strategy is very different. You're very focused on enhancing the TV experience and sort of reaping the fruits from that. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, we're first of all, we need to constantly reinvent ourselves. And we did it very typically in 2003. Up until then, TV4 was only one big channel, a huge channel. In 2003, we launched TV4 Plus, which was a niche channel at the time. It was the beginning of a 10-year venture, extremely successful. Today, we're 42 channels in the group. Maybe a bit too many at the moment. It's kind of costly, but never mind. It was a very clever thing. But at the time, my dear colleague Jan Scherman and the team at the time were very challenged by, are you guys crazy? Are you sort of asking the audience to move from TV4 to TV4 Plus, where you get that much money? compared to where you get in TV4, it was a very bold move. And it turned out a great success because the simple answer to that was, if we don't do it, someone else do it. So let's keep the growth, the fragmentization within our own system. Now we need to do this again. So what we're doing right now is to really be serious about moving viewing digitally, moving viewing onto TV4 Play, onto FilmNet, new patterns. And sometimes it's very painful because short term we trade dollars for nickels. But we really need to do it.
Aren't the sales guys calling up and screaming when you suggest these things?
Sorry, who will call?
Aren't your own sales guys calling you up screaming?
No, they love it because in this case it's advertising. The new advertising formats are very, the advertisers are very happy because the paradox is that in the old model, the core model, the old analog linear schedule model, it's full. You can't get in there. So what do? You look for other options. Advertising is like, someone told me, it's like water drizzling down a mountain. It always finds its way to us. And we want to be there when it happens. So in this case, we have great growth for our new advertising products for TV4 Play, which wasn't the case just a year ago. But all of a sudden, it's just exploding. Because it works, it's great products. The ad selector, for example, or the pause reclam, which we just launched. But it's also because it's crowded in the core. So in that sense, we can use the wealth of the core business to elaborate with the new stuff, which is a bit different to Raul's challenge because his core is struggling. It's someone would even say it's dying. Our core is great. It's never been stronger. So that's our luck at the moment.
And what do you think the TV experience will be like? So if I'm sitting down, let's say 10 years from now, and I'm watching television.
I will be sitting constantly in 10 years from now.
No, but so in what way would it be different? I mean, we speak about interruption. A lot of internet conferences and marketing, they say, interruption marketing is dead. If I'm watching Conan the Barbarian, I don't want to see a Tampoon commercial for 30 seconds. That's so old school. But still, that's what kind of works right now, and it works very, very well. So will this evolve when you know exactly who I am and what I like and what I've seen, or maybe you can even charge me directly, or how will that evolve?
Well, I think the linear model, for sure, it's about a 10,000-year-old habit. You and I and our friends sitting around a campfire, sharing a story at the same time, which is key. That is not to do with television. It's human behavior. Yeah. So we need to share stories at the same time. So this will always be, I think. However, we will not be doing schedules the way we have. It's been very much based on a few campfires or a few peers surrounded by tons of rather cheap Hollywood programming acquisitions. This will not be the case. The acquisitions, the Hollywood stuff, will be on FilmNet. Yeah. I watch it like a DVD box. So that business is what used to be the videobutik, the rentals, or the DVD boxes. That's why it's good news for us. It's growth. We've never been there, so we can now go for that business. The schedule will be even more about live sports, like hockey world championships, or the national team in soccer, which is very key to us, and we invest a hell of a lot of money into that. Insanely much money, and it's just exploding. Local programming like Solsidan, Så mycket bättre, that kind of stuff. And also live entertainment. Live will increase. So there will be a more sort of clear explanation on what is scheduled programming compared to what it used to be. That's the big shift, and I think that will be also around in 10 years' time. It will be enhanced by the new digital possibilities, like our own application on the Monday night show, which is Pengarna på bordet with Peter Gide. Now we downloaded over 100,000 apps on that show. So it's a second screen experience, which is just great. And I hope all of you have it. If you don't, just get it, because it's a great experience, and you really get into the show. The old classic, you are one step ahead of the contestant on a game show. and you sit in your sofa and just shout. Now we can do it live and into the show or into a computer and be part of the show.
But where's
that kind of solutions, I think, if not in 10 years' time, it's actually right now. So.
But I'm seeing that in my vision of TV, much faster than 10 years, I'm sort of watching Sweden against Germany 4-4, and I'm there live. That's not going to get better. Being there in the arena is probably the best thing. Seeing it live is going to be super exciting. Additionally so because I'm connected with all my friends.
Exactly.
And we're booing at the Germans,
exactly.
and they're booing back, and we're eating digital popcorns, and then I pay €4.
Like baboons.
Like baboons. Yeah. I pay €4 for the Zlatan camera, and I see Zlatan's head camera or whatever, and then I can bet on B-win while I'm at it. If this happened, and you can maybe tell me a different story because you know I watched all the games before, and I have a commentator that it's €1 extra on my second screen here. But I'm not sure who's going to develop that. If it's the production companies, TV4, if it's Facebook, if it's the football clubs, Batman, or whoever, somebody's going to do this. Who do you think will sort of sit at the core of this ecosystem? Because it's difficult if you're just one channel. Or is it every program has its own login? Or how do you think that will...
Well, that's a very good question. And it's one of the key reflections I've done during this year at TV4. I started a year ago, basically, and it's again to be humble about what's going to happen. We are very used to ecosystem in our industry with the cable companies, with the production companies, the broadcasters. It's been more or less the same for 25 years, but now everything is up in the air. What is a set-top box? What is a broadcaster? What is a production company? What is an innovative startup? And what role do they play in our ecosystem? It used to be very fixed, and now it's all up in the air. So basically, our strategy is to sleep with everyone. We don't really have any fixed ideas. So anyone is welcome. Anyone is welcome. So we're very open, very slutty to say. Yeah. So
is that a good strategy, you think, for innovation? Be slutty?
Yes. Yes, I think so. If you're the market leader, you can sleep with everyone. That's great.
No, but I think that's a very interesting that's a very interesting takeaway. There's a lot of truth in that.
Because the opposite would be that we would know the best. We would always drive. We would always say to everyone, "This is what's going to happen." And I think that's terrible because that will kill us. We need to be slutty. Very important.
But leadership was much more like being a conductor before, and now it's more like a jam session somehow. Or sort of, how do you lead with that much uncertainty?
Well, to me, it's to me personally, it's been the same all through the years. It's been about 3 words really. It's been about I call it TPE: trust, pressure, execution. So it's all about creating trust and obviously gathering clever people around you. So that's what I try to start with. Normally, especially in this case in TV4, we had really clever people already on board. So collect them and sort of build your team, and then communicate trust. I trust you. You will do this, because trust, I think, is a privilege. Trust is a privilege. But then pressure is also a privilege. So it's 2 sides of the coin. So then start to put pressure. We really need to be serious about FilmNet. We really need to be serious about closing down 10 websites like we did this year. Because we're not Aftonbladet.se. We're not a display-based, text-based website. It's too boring, is it? It just... No, there's back again. So we need to be serious about change. We need to be serious about where we're going. So pressure is a privilege as well. And then finally, I don't believe that much in ideas. I believe in execution. And I also believe that strategy is created in the trenches, where the people are, where the clients are, where the viewers are. So I don't have a lot of business developers on top. We are all business developers. So trust, pressure, execution. That's basically the same, and it was the same 25 years ago. And then you can create, hopefully, an innovative culture, and which embraces to be slutty, which is all, to have a self-confidence to invite anyone, really, to your community.
I think that's wonderful and merits a warm round of applause. Thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you.